What's up, everyone? Good morning to you. Today is Tuesday. It is October the 11th, 2022, and it is time for today's headlines right here on News in Motion. Whether you are watching by audio or the replay or live, we just are so grateful that you decided to come hang out with us on today. I see you, Shirley Nicholson, coming in on YouTube. I see you, Audrey. I see you. That has to be Mike Nicholson. I see you, Dr. Antoinette. I see you, Pastor Alex. I see you, Deborah Johnson. I see you, Jeffrey Allen James. I see a lot of y'all on here. I see Jeffrey Payne coming in by YouTube. I see Kim Edmondson in here. Let me see who else I can see Marion Jackson, who's also in here as well. Lori Wallace, I just want to say good morning to all of you. Good morning. Y'all know today is it's on the ballot day where I talk about things that are on the ballot and just really excited to share with you some quick headlines. And then I have an amazing guest. We're working on his microphone now, but I have an amazing guest that's going to be joining me as well. Yes, thank you, Dr. Antoinette. She says, remember to share this video. Please remember to do that. Yeah, we have some news, and then I want to spend the majority of the time speaking with our guest, who is Kim Edmondson's husband, Al Edmondson. He is a staple in the community, so we'll get to him in a few moments. Adrienne Gaddish is back, but she's coming in on YouTube. I'm finding that some of you are getting kicked out of Facebook. I don't know why. She shared with me that she got kicked out, so she just went to the YouTube channel instead, which that is the option. I see my brother Louis Pryor, also see Judy Neal. So good morning to all of you. Real quick, in the news, we have a couple of things. The website of several major U.S. airports temporarily went offline on yesterday, taken down by what is believed to be a cyber attack by a Russia affiliate hacker group. Now, locations affected included Hartsfield, Jackson, Atlanta International. I know that was probably horrific. Chicago O'Hare International Airport. I know that was horrific. And Los Angeles International Airport, each among the top 10 busiest airports in the world. Now, officials are reporting minimal disruption from the denial of service attack, which prevents access to websites of overwhelming servers with false traffic. So that's what happened. And a lot of that they believe is coming from the fact that the U.S. is helping Ukraine. I see you, Kenny Stanley. Yeah, girl, Facebook is still playing games. So Adrienne is now over there on YouTube. Y'all, CNN reports the website of 14 U.S. airports, again, including the same ones I just spoke to you. They were briefly offline, and the hacker group is known as Killnet, excuse me. They've been targeting NATO countries since Russia invaded Ukraine and have claimed responsibility for the recent cyber attacks on local government websites. Now, y'all, the attacks didn't appear to disrupt actual travel, but I don't know about you, but I don't want anything messing up if I'm on a plane. Didn't we just talk about praying for planes yesterday? I see you, Regina Shorts. Good morning to you. So, y'all, that's what's happening. And then these cyber attacks actually happened while Russia began the shelling of a number of Ukrainian cities. And I guess they consider this a retaliation for a weekend attack. At least 11 people were killed and more than 60 injured in the strike. We do have a press release from the White House, from a statement by President Biden on the Russia, missile strikes. I tried to put the two words together, y'all. It says the United States strongly condemns Russia missile strike yesterday across Ukraine, including Kharkiv. These attacks killed and injured civilians and destroyed targets with no military purpose. They once again demonstrate the utter brutality of Mr. Putin's illegal war on Ukrainian people. We offer our condolences to the families and loved ones of those who were senselessly killed yesterday, as well as our best wishes for recovery of those who were wounded. These attacks only further reinforce our commitment to stand with the people of Ukraine for as long as it takes. Alongside our allies and partners, we will continue to impose costs on Russia for its aggression, hold Putin and Russia accountable for the war crimes, and provide support necessary for Ukrainian forces to defend their country and their freedom. Then he goes on to say, we again call on Russia to end this unprovoked aggression immediately and remove its troops from Ukraine. So the retaliation yesterday through the cyber attacks happened to towards the US of all of the major airports. The other thing I want to report, y'all, I briefly spoke to you all yesterday. Dr. Antoinette said, didn't they attack the playground? Yeah, they were going for what appears to be civilians, which is really sad. So 11 people died and 60 were in fact injured. Yesterday, I was talking a little bit about, as we're going into It's on the Ballot, and I'll be bringing in my guests momentarily. I shared with you, as I wanted to still see this one story unfold out of Los Angeles. This was the Los Angeles City Council president. She has since stepped down, but she has not completely resigned from her seat. Los Angeles City Hall in turmoil. They're calling it turmoil. They're calling it chaos over the leaked racist comments that Nuri Martinez, the Los Angeles City Council president, stepped down from her leadership role on yesterday after the recording leaked of her making racist remarks about another council member's child in October 2021. Some people are saying, well, what is it? Can you tell us? I will not read the entire recording, but she did reference her colleague's son as a black monkey. Just wanted to tell y'all that. But Martinez still hasn't given up her seat on council, and a growing number of LA politicians, including the mayor, Eric Garcetti, are calling on her and other council members she was with while making those offensive comments to completely resign. Now, the New York Times reporting that Los Angeles Labor Federation chief resigns also because of this leaked conversation. Ron Herrera was part of the secretly recorded conversation in which the Los Angeles City County President, Nuri Martinez mocked indigenous immigrants and the black child of a fellow council member. Now, y'all, the head of the Los Angeles County's most powerful labor organization resigned. He resigned also once this has leaked. He's resigned completely, and one of the most powerful. Many people push back on me, as I shared with you previously, how I talk about do your vetting, don't just go strictly down ballot. Now, there are times like this election coming up that you may want to do down ballot, but you still need to do your research, because you had three. These were Democrats. These were Democrats in the Los Angeles Council. I'm not going to hide that. These are Democrats that were having this conversation, trying to gerrymander their own mapping system, trying to do some deals and so forth, trying to shut people down. And people are calling on them to resign. This is why I say we must research and vet the people. Mike is saying, but the last names lead me to believe. Yeah, that's what's happening. So we cannot just go by names. We cannot go by sound bites. We cannot go by popularity. We have to do our research. We have to do our research. All right, y'all, it is on the ballot. AARP had listening tours and learned that the top issues for 50 plus are retirement security, healthcare costs, housing costs, and better caregiving options. Those are four main areas that AARP nationwide during their listening tours drew the conclusion. Again, retirement security, healthcare costs, housing costs, and better caregiving options. All right, y'all. Yesterday, I messed up. I have no problem telling y'all I messed up. I was reading from the wrong list yesterday when I was telling you about the deadline to register to vote. I was reading the early voting list, not the deadline list. So let me do the deadline list for today. You have until 11:59 p.m. to register. So this is the updated and the corrected list. Again, my apologies. But if you go to your Secretary's of State's office, you can find this information out for yourselves as well. So here are the deadlines for voter registration today. Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Illinois. Illinois is both mail-in ballots and in-person. So your deadline to register is today. And I give that distinction because those are their laws and their distinctions of how to register to vote. Indiana, Kentucky, Nevada. This is for your mail-in ballot. Nevada, you can actually register to vote in person on the day of the election. New Mexico, mail-in and online. Ohio, today is your last day. Tennessee and Texas. I'll give you that list again. You have until 11:59 p.m. today to register. Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Nevada, New Mexico, Ohio, Tennessee, and Texas. Today is the last day to register to vote. You can go to iwillvote www.whenweallvote.com to register. You can also check your voter registration information as well. You can go to www.whenweallvote.org. You can go to rockthevote.org. There are many places you can go out here to register to vote. The key is to vote. Now, you may say, I'm registered. I've already checked my voter registration and everything is fine. But you may have people in your family or friends or coworkers that are not registered voters. Just go to your contact list sometime this morning after this broadcast and do this text. I'm going to just read it. I'll put it in the chat later on. You can send a check that says something like, hey, are you registered to vote? Today is the deadline. You name the state. And then you can say you can register or check your registration status at www.iwillvote.com. Just something real simple to send that out. People may have forgotten and they may just need a reminder. So let's do that today. Also, y'all ready? Publication released yesterday, and it has been absolutely phenomenal. We are trying to get this free voter guides in the hands of everyone. We have an image. At some point, if you have another device, pull it out. I want you to scan this QR code that's coming up on the image. Y'all just scan that QR code. We are trying to get this in the hands of people everywhere. The digital download is free when you scan this code. If you want the print part of it, there is a small fee of like $1.60, I believe. And then you also have to pay shipping to get that shipped to you. And that comes straight from the distributor. But listen, this is an 8-page voter registration guide that we want to get into the hands of people everywhere. So y'all share it, don't hold back, get it out there. We really want to make an impact. We want to get this in the hands of senior citizen homes and churches, people in marginalized communities, in barbershops and hair salons, in daycare centers, wherever we need to get this, in some of the Section 8 housing. We want to get these this voter information resource guide into the hands of people everywhere. So just scan that QR code and share it, y'all. You can also share it on your social media. Do whatever you need to do. Again, the digital download is free, but the print version, if you want it printed, is like $1.60 plus shipping. So y'all, the publication is also out. We will put the link in this thread or on the page later on today where you can purchase a publication. The publication is $14.50. There's some amazing articles in there, and the articles never expire. Thank you so much, Isaiah, for putting that up. All right, y'all. I want to spend the rest of the time with our guest. He's amazing. He's a friend. Again, Kim Edmondson's husband. We want to talk about communities and neighborhoods, and their schools and students are also on the ballot. We may not be voting for board seats for schools right now, but they're still on the ballot. So I'm excited to welcome Al Edmondson to News in Motion this morning. Come on in here, Al. I'm praying your microphone works. Hello. Oh, we can't hear you. Make sure we're still trying to get on your microphone. Make sure your mic is turned on. Y'all just be patient with us. We have some technical difficulties with his microphone. Try your computer microphone. While he's doing that, let me read his bio. And you just keep working on that. Al Edmondson is the president of the historic Mount Vernon District Improvement Association. He is the founder and CEO of Making a Difference. He is News in Motion's fiduciary agent. He's the owner of Cut Above the Rest Barbershop and a veteran of the United States Army. Serving in Operation Desert Storm, he received a Bronze Star Award for bravery. Al Edmondson uses his dedication to the Near East Side of Columbus, Ohio, to encourage revitalization initiatives. As a longtime resident of the community and also a graduate of our high school, East High School, he is committed to helping bring businesses back to the community. Purposely choosing to remain in the community in which he was raised. And we want to dig into this today, and hopefully his mic will work. Al Edmondson established his business on 20th and Mount Vernon Avenue in Columbus, Ohio. During his tenure as a business owner, he has created a multi-use facility that houses a barbershop, a nonprofit organization, and I'm looking at him and reading this too, and a tutoring center. As a founder, president, and CEO of Making a Difference, Al has dedicated his brand to servicing the families within Central Ohio, but he's also going to help us do it there as well. No matter where you reside. In addition, he serves as an ambassador for the American Heart Association, American Cancer Society, and Lifeline of Ohio. Y'all remember Demia? Y'all, by the way, she says she misses us, but she's a working sister, as well as memberships on several boards and committees. Thank you. In 2013, Al Edmondson established the first King Lincoln Memorial Parade and events honoring and remembering African Americans for their services in the armed forces. Al has received numerous awards for his activism. He was inducted, into the Veterans Hall of Fame, Jefferson Award, and recently was awarded Everyday Hero for his service to Central Ohio. All right, all of that, and he done switched devices. So come on in here, Al. Come on.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm at the shop early, doing, planning my strategy for the community.
That's what I'm talking about. So we want to jump in because I want to hear from you. There's so much here. I love what you're doing. You and I've had previous conversations, and look at your wife up here talking about. He was also the recipient of Everyday Hero Award last week. Your wife is cheering you on. I love that. I love that. I love that. So thinking about voting, why is it important to serve within your community, regardless of the vote cycle? Why is that important?
Well, it's so important because your local elections are the most important ones. Your city councils, your state reps, and some of your state offices are at risk right now because we want to make sure that people understand the importance of voting. Because we just recently formed a Black Men's Collective that's trying to educate people, especially African American young men, and in the community to get out to just let people know that why it's important to vote.
Okay. So often, and I'm gonna go here with that. So often people want to drive out of the community instead of into the community. People want to run away instead of run into. And we're starting to see that change in many states and cities across the US. What can we do as Black and brown people to jump on board and to purchase up some of that property now so that we're inside the community working where sometimes people are more open to allow us to participate? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So a couple things that you can do is again, there are people that are neighborhood leaders that are in those communities that you can connect with. And secondly, what I do is I direct people to some of the resources that are available to them to help them navigate through the process. Because if you're able to navigate through the process and meet people like me, who is planted and rooted in the neighborhood, because I can help them be it better to be able to connect the person with the person they need to talk to in order to get either buy some property or or you want to start your small business here in the neighborhood.
And so many people are afraid to do that. They're afraid to start their business in the neighborhood. Why is that?
Well, I think because right now, when in this neighborhood right here at the King Lincoln District, it has a rich history of Black-owned businesses, Black-owned hotels, and just like a mecca, like a Harlem. And now it's shifting and changing because with all the new developments that's in the neighborhood right now currently, you got one part of Mount Vernon, you got $3,000 homes, and on the other side of the Mount Vernon you have the $100,000 homes. And I think that that you have to continue to partnership with the local churches and some of the local community leaders to be able to connect connect with the businesses. Okay. And I think also that one of the things that we've been able to do here in Columbus, and the city has something they call neighborhood revitalization corridors, and there are people that are in those neighborhoods that you can connect with. In our community, it's like on the Hilltop, Franklinton, the South Side, which is Parsons, and the King Lincoln. And then also Long Street, there are people there that can help you navigate and get and be a part of the process and understand who the key players are.
Okay. And I'm starting to hear some feedback. So we're still dealing with some technical difficulty. No, it's not you. So when I'm talking, if you do me a favor, just hit your mute on your thing, and then when you talk, just unmute. That should
Yeah.
cancel that out. So you're involved, you're very involved with East High School, the high school we all attended here in Columbus. Now, what are some ways, not just thinking of Columbus, but thinking about different cities across the United States? What are some ways people can return to their high school they attended to get involved? For example, it was Rita Fuller Yates who was doing the video of East High School's homecoming marching band a couple of weeks ago. I was watching that live and I said, let me get up and go to this game. And I did. And met you and Kim down there, Kenny and other people, and we had a blast. But one thing that you and I started having a conversation about was some of the band uniforms, and they were not in unity. And what can we do to raise money to make sure they're all in the same uniform? Now, I also want to bring this up. You've established a scholarship fundraiser, and you'll have the first annual Columbus East High School scholarship fundraiser. You call it a day party. I'm trying to think of the date. I know it's November something.
25th, November the 25th, after Thanksgiving.
After the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And then you talk about how we can reach back and help the students. I'm really interested in that because so many, again, thinking about not just Columbus or not just Ohio, but all over. What are some things that people can do to get involved, to start scholarship campaigns, to pay attention to what's happening in the community? Because if you ask me, voting in your community, they can't be separate. They have to tie in. So speak to that, please.
Well, I say, first of all, just, you have to go back and make a connection with the principals. Like East has a new principal, for instance, and he's looking for alumni to come and talk to the kids and be visible to some of the kids and talk about the history. Because I know that the East High School alumni that does the breakfast every year, they started the Jack Gibbs scholarships a couple years ago, and they also give money to the school to help with any needs. What I did is I reached out to the band and some of the football teams, because and the basketball teams, and because I have a relationship with those guys because they were little kids when I was out at East and playing basketball and football. And so now that they're coaching at their school and coming back to our school, I think just going back and wanting to just be present, even talk to the kids about the traditions that we had and explain to them how important, this East High School was, not just only in this city, but around this country, with all the well-known people who have graduated from East and went on to do bigger and better things, and so I think currently right now is what we've been doing is we want to what we want to do with this scholarship is we want to celebrate the 100th anniversary and bless our students and continue this effort every Thanksgiving. So one, we can bring back alumni home Thanksgiving weekend to the fellowship and have a good time, meet and greet. And then also we want to take the opportunity to invest in our young kids that are coming out of our high school. And that's the purpose of this whole scholarship.
I love that, because even as you're talking, and again, mute me when I talk because we won't get the feedback. I'm sorry about that. We got to work on these technical difficulties today. Our apologies to everyone. One thing that I know you and I have discussed, and what I'm hearing you say today, regardless of where you are, as adults now, we have to not forget about where we come from. So whatever community that is, whatever neighborhood that is, we need to go back, reach back into that community and invest. And Al said something key: connect, network with the principal of the schools, not just high school, y'all, but middle schools, junior high schools, whatever you call them, and elementary schools. And with that, find out the needs. But we just can't show up at certain times. It has to be an ongoing involvement. That's what I'm hearing. So looking at the mission and vision of that community or that school, what it is that they're known for. Let me ask this question, Al. Why is it important to be hands-on with the local schools, even on the off school board elections?
It's most important because um, people want to see you all the time. You know, you got to be present all the time. They don't want to just like, you know, we talking about, we have election come up. The only time the politicians come out is when they want to get elected. They never come back for another 4 years, another 2 years. So they just pop up when they want to pop up. But I think just like being a parent, you have to be present in your child's life daily, even when they're out the house or when they're in the house. And I think that's very important. And so with these kids, and that we as alumni, we want to show them that we care about them other than their parents, because some of these young kids that are now, um, their parents at the household. You know, I watched this situation yesterday when the little boy, he was probably 8 or 9 years old, he talking to his mom like he grown, and I'm sitting here like, wow. And so I had to have a little talk with him afterwards about respect. And so, you know, a lot of times some of these new parents, not all, but some, let the kids tell them what to do. But you still have to be a parent, and we as community people or people who care about these kids in school, we have to let them know that we want to support them too, and we're not going to be that person that skips out their lives and abandon them in times of trouble. Because, you know, as you know, yesterday a young girl was shot across the street at Franklin Park, and she went to East High School over a fight. And so I don't know the outcome of it because they said she was in critical, but you got to think that they had enough respect to go across the street to then fight on East High School's property, and then, you know, then whatever happened, you know, the situation that happened with her, you know, people start showing up and you know, talking to these kids about, trying to calm them down because the young lady was shot. Because I know she was probably very popular or something like that. But you know, just to calm her down, just calm the kids down. There was a group of us that went over there. So and that way we show we care when we showed up, and we show up in the good times and the bad times.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Again, you have to mute me again. Um, when growing up, I can remember families connecting within the neighborhood and communities. We walked to school, you know, whatever was happening, everybody on the street or in that immediate neighborhood knew about it. With the work that you do currently, are you finding it difficult to connecting with the residents, with people moving into the community? Why or why not? And what are some things that we can do across the United States to be intentional about reaching out, making that connection?
Currently right now, I don't see any issues because I'm at work now, and recently I just saw, families walking down the street. It's just one lady that I always see her every morning, and she walks a group of kids down the street to make sure they go to Champion safely. And so what we have created over in our neighborhood is safe spaces to walk, that are visible in our community. So, and there's signs that's out here that say, safe, safe way to the schools. Um, but with new residents moving in again, they're not heavily involved. Recently, we had an issue where people were talking about the band when they said they were playing. They was playing at night, and we was like, "That's 12 o'clock at night." And they try to get the noise, try to get them to stop playing in the summertime when you got to get ready for all that competition and stuff. And so, of course, we can't let things like that die down. We still, as a community, have to step up, even if you live in the community or even if you live out of the community. I think you have a responsibility to come back to continue to help build the things that people were doing for you back in the day. And
Hmm.
I think that's so important.
Yeah. What's so interesting about the people complaining about the noise and the band. I live, of course, outside the neighborhood, and I live near a high school. And even Friday night, and I don't live next to the high school. I live probably 2 blocks from the high school. Friday night, I heard all the drums, all the everything, because I was home that night. It did not faze me. I know there's a high school 2 blocks away. I was driving down the street yesterday and they were out practicing, and it just sounded beautiful. I'm thinking, who's complaining about that when you know you're moving into a neighborhood that has a high school or any schools? You're going to get that. So I'm glad that people jumped to that and dealt with that here. One more question before I let you go, if that's okay. I know you're out at work, but what are some ways that we can advocate for people and programs in the community? Like not just dollars, that's part of it, but what are some other ways to advocate for people and program in communities?
Just get connected with the schools. I think getting connected with the schools, the principals are always looking for people to come and share their experience of going to whatever school they went to, and get involved with your PTA meetings with some of the youth or some of the schools. I think also from a community standpoint, we still have to continue to connect with our rec centers, and because a lot of kids find rec centers as a safe place, and I think that's very important. And I think you just have to continue to reach out to people who like myself, that can get you connected with the right people to make sure you get connected with the people that things that you want to do, because I think each and every one of us have the opportunity to share our own stories with the young men and young women in our schools and in our communities, to let them know that you can do better than that. You can overcome a lot of things. You just gotta want to work through it. And we're here to support you, and we're going to here to make sure that you have everything, all the tools you need to be successful, regardless of your circumstances, whether dad's in the house, whether mom's in the house, or whether they're out the house, or whatever it is. And I think that there are so many programs that are available for our kids to participate in when their parents are not sometime absent in their lives. So there's so many programs. You just got to find a way to connect with the people that know the information. For instance, like we have a BOLD program, Brothers Orient Leadership Development Program, and we work with young men in middle school and high school, and we're going to start our program up the 25th of October. And we got a small grant, but we still, we're still going to use those dollars to connect with 25 young men and build those men up for 16 weeks. And then we'll keep finding ways to keep building our men up in our community, our young men up in our community, and show them something different. Because a lot of times, some people got to get out the neighborhood in order to experience life.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. And so, I just thank God for just the opportunity that He continues to use me every day to help my neighborhood, help my family, help my community.
I love it. I gotta ask this question, and Kim will probably shoot me. I asked her this question while we were at the homecoming a couple of weeks ago, because you were working the crowd. I mean, loving it. People were like, "Oh, there's Al." Excuse me. "Oh, there's Al." You were trying to get your fish, though. We had the fish going off to the side. But would you ever run for office?
I haven't thought about it lately. I get that question all the time, but if I do decide, you're gonna be the first to know, and
Okay.
we'll do it on your show.
I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah,
You're making a huge
I'll
difference
make my
in the
announcement
community,
if
and
I
I think
decide
so much
on
of
you.
what you're doing can be duplicated all across the United States. So I want to let people know, if you have questions for Al Edmondson, please reach out to him. We'll put his Facebook link in this chat here. If you have questions, whatever it may be, he has a lot to offer. He has a lot to offer. So I just want to say thank you today. We need to get some of those free voting resource printed out and bring down to the barbershop also, so for people in that area can pick up. So, but thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you. And then one more thing, Ed, and one way people can get involved in voting is be a poll worker.
Yes.
I just wanted to drop that in there because they need a lot of poll workers. If you want to, and they pay you to be a poll worker. And so, when I started doing voting, I just got involved in being a poll worker and just finding out how the process goes when Trump ran back in 20 something. But and
2016.
yeah. So, but I mean, it's more ways you can, like I said, it's more ways you can get involved in the process. Be a poll worker, get paid, and that way, we can know for sure that we have safe election.
I love that. And while we're doing that, Isaiah, will you put up the link? We are in partnership with Power the Polls, And so, y'all, they're still looking for poll workers. If you go to powerthepolls.com/news in motion, you can get the application, go through the process. They are begging us for poll workers. I know Mary Jenkins just registered not long ago, signed up. She's been accepted. I know Adrian Gaddish is, I believe Tracy Newman is others. So make sure y'all do that. Thank you, Al, for mentioning that.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on. God bless you and your family.
You too. Have a great day.
Bye.
All right, y'all, real quick again, get that free voter guide. Isaiah, if you will put that link up again, just scan the QR code, y'all. Get that. The digital version is free. If you want the printed version, it's like $1.60. The magazine is also live as of yesterday. It was released. So scan that QR code, print, post on social media, share, etc., with your circle of influence and distribution list. Also, let them know they have permission to share this link. It is free. The digital version of the voter resource guide is free. One last piece of news before I go to the inspirational message. The last piece of news for today. So, thank you so much, Isaiah. You can take that down. Do you have the new iPhone 14? Do you have the new iPhone 14? I really didn't want to report this because I have an iPhone, not the 14, not planning on getting it either. But yeah, there appears to be a bug in the phone. It keeps calling 911 to amusement parks, to roller coasters. Why? I don't know. The Verge and the Wall Street Journal are reporting that the iPhone 14's new crash detection feature, which is supposed to alert authorities when it detects you've been in a car accident, has an expected side effect. It dials 911 on roller coasters. According to a report from the Wall Street Journal, the feature has had law enforcement sent to amusement parks on numerous occasions after mistaking a thrills ride, twists, turns, and hard braking for a real emergency. Say that real fast. So that is happening. I'm so sick of you, Kim Edmondson and Lori Wallace, talking about this Android, whatever. I'm sticking with my iPhone to the end. All right, y'all, the inspirational message for today, and then we are out. We are out. We are out. Service. Y'all, service is important. However you decide to serve, service is important. We just heard from an amazing advocate, someone who's always engaging within the community. His civic engagement is just 1,000%. There's work that we have to do. We just can't get ours and be gone. It's about serving other people. When you're in the community and you're paying attention, you're looking at the high school, you're looking at the band, you're looking at the cheerleaders, you're looking at the teachers, you're looking at their book bags, you're looking at their books, you're looking to see and say, okay, there seems to be a need here, so how can I help? Or you're looking at people that may look malnutrition or they're not comprehending. Well, is there a food insecurity situation there? Is it that they're hungry? And it's not that there's anything wrong with them. They're just hungry and they can't even comprehend or learn or take in what they need to because their stomach is growling. They're fatigued. They didn't get to sleep because they are hungry. So how do we serve? How do we serve one another? How do we mentor people? It's one thing, Kim Edmondson can speak to this, and so can Kenny, because we were all sitting together at the football game. But it was so interesting. Some of the clothes, some of what they're wearing, I'm sitting there like, man, I would have never thought to put that on. Or what is it? What is there someone not walking alongside this young lady, mentoring her, this young man mentoring him? Do they need to have a conversation with someone? How do we even approach that conversation? How do we build that relationship? Because that relationship is key in order to jump in to serve. There's so much that can unfold there. But service, how do we serve our elderly? How do we serve the retirement community? Going back to what AARP listed as the 4 top things for 50 and over. These are top issues that are on the ballot: retirement security, healthcare costs, housing costs, and better caregiving options. Even with the Hurricane Ian that hit Florida, many of the retiree individuals are saying, especially in Fort Myers, I don't know if I can rebuild back here in Florida. I don't even know if I have enough time to do that. I don't even know if the insurance is going to come through. I may have to relocate somewhere else. How do we serve people to help them relocate someplace else while they're waiting on the insurance, while they're waiting on things to take place? How do we help them find some of their lost treasures of images and so forth that are out there? Y'all, service is key. It is important. So from the youngest person to the oldest person, how do we serve? How do we serve our community? How do we serve each other? How do we serve our neighbors? How do we serve our community? How do we serve the schools? How do we serve our churches? How do we serve rec centers? How do we serve polling locations? How do we serve? We need to start thinking about service. Y'all, there's so much that Al could share. Sorry again about the technical difficulties today. I want to reiterate, and again, it was my mistake yesterday. I gave y'all the wrong list yesterday, and I do apologize. But again, the voting registration deadlines for today, October the 11th, you have until 11:59 p.m. Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Nevada, New Mexico, Ohio, Tennessee, and Texas. Let's talk about Ohio just for a moment. I watched. It was hard to watch the debate between Tim Ryan and JD Vance. We all know JD Vance is coming out of the MAGA with Trump. Tim Ryan is good. He is really trying to speak and appeal to the independent and moderate people. That's where he's going. He's going for the middle people. He even was trying to get some Republicans to back him, and he did great with delivering that message. My only concern is this: will he lose votes because he's so busy trying to appeal to a different group of people? Even a commercial where he talks about, he's a Democrat, where he talks about he he voted along with Trump on trade, I believe is how his commercial is. Even saying that makes me cringe every time he says that. On one hand, it shows that he works in the middle and he's nonpartisan on some votes, and he is concerned about his constituents, and I think that's great. But I think there also needs to be a balance in his conversation. That's just me. Ken Edmondson said that debate was a mess. That's just me, but things that we just need to think about and talk about. Um, and we got to keep these things in the forefront. How do we best have these conversations? If you are not a registered voter in Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Nevada, New Mexico, Ohio, Tennessee, or Texas, you have until 11:59 p.m. to do so. Please don't wait. You can go to iwillvote.com. You can go to vote.us. You can go to whenweallvote.org. There are so many places you can go. Please register to vote. And again, and I thank Al for bringing it up. There's a dire need, even in these final hours leading up to November the 8th, for poll workers. They're needing election poll workers immediately to sign up. You can go to powerthepolls.org/news in motion to become a poll worker. Please don't sleep on this. Please don't sleep on this. And yes, it is a long day. It is a long day, but it's worth it. I want to stress again, they will begin closing polling locations. And sometimes they won't do it until the week of, or the night of, or the day of the election. And that deters people and they go back home. They won't even navigate to get to the next place. They will do that in the marginalized and the poor communities first. They will. It has been proven that that's how they close them. Don't let that happen to your community. Going back to what Al Edmondson's sharing, your community should be first and forefront in your mind. All right, y'all, that's all I have today. I am Gail Dudley, the host of News in Motion. Thank you for tuning in. As I say, stay well and remember, make some bold moves. I'm out.